Hello everybody, Xander here, and today we're back with another book review, the last for February, thankfully. I originally wanted to do it at the end of February, but I got, so busy and then tired yesterday that I decided to save the last book review February for, March 1st, which I think is alright, I guess. I know I mentioned having the next issue of Spider-Man on my February reading list, but I pushed that back to March, so I'll get to reading that and including it in the March list at some point. But we're here to talk about the last book of February, which is Star Wars Dark Disciple by Chris C. Golden. And I think this was written in 2015. I believe so. Yep. And is a sort of reuse of a scrapped series of episodes for Star Wars The Clone Wars. And this book has been talked about for a little bit by fans recently as the recent new season of The Bad Batch has brought back Asajj Ventress, who has been a Clone Wars character for a while, and apparently she has a part of this book that makes it weird for her appearance in Bad Batch. Let's just say that. We'll talk more about it in the spoiler section, but let's talk about the actual book. So this is set during the Clone Wars, and in the galaxy, the Republic is dealing with a lot of the brutal methods of the separatists, who are trying to do their own thing in the galaxy and using brutal methods to get what they want, and they're led by Count Dooku, who is a Sith Lord. And the Jedi Council is basically trying to figure out how they're going to stop the Separatists. So the idea floats around in the Council that they should get an assassin to kill Dooku to stop the Separatists. And they decide that they're not only going to get one of their own people to handle this task, but also someone who knows Dooku personally and is more on the dark side a bit, and that is Asajj Ventress. So they also get Jedi Master Quinlan Vos to take up the task and convince Ventress to help him out in killing Dooku. This is a pretty good book, I'll say that. I don't always read a lot of Star Wars stuff because I think it's a mixture of Star Wars works better for me as either a movie or TV series, and I'm more of a fantasy book guy than sci-fi guy, but honestly the amount of technical jargon is not as prevalent in this as some of the other Star Wars books I've looked at. I would say for the most part the characterization's pretty good for a lot of the returning characters. I haven't seen a lot of stuff with Quinlan Vos, so I think he's basically what is portrayed in this book, which is an interesting enough character who is very torn by both the light and dark side throughout the book, and Ventress also gets her own, interesting story as she is trying not to deal with Dooku anymore, and also just trying to just do her own crap, as she does not really want to be part of a team and just wants to do her own bounty hunting stuff. But obviously that gets put on hold. So I think that's as much as I can really say, spoiler free wise. So I would mostly recommend this if you're into Star Wars and kind of want to see sort of a dark side-esque book that's not just a full-blown Sith story, but it has a lot of Sith stuff. So what am I talking about? It's got dark side stuff, and it's also about characters that you don't see a lot of. So check it out if you want, and let's get into spoilers because I can actually say stuff. Okay, so I don't know if it was really something I couldn't say in the spoiler-free section, but this is kind of a romance book. As Ventress and Quinlan Vos fall in love, like pretty much halfway through the book, and that adds for some interesting elements that kind of make things easier for them, but also makes it more difficult for them and everyone around them. So already, let's get it out the way. The Jedi Council getting a Jedi to take part in an assassination plot was never going to be a good idea, and that shows kind of quickly as later in the book, Vos does tap into the dark side to try and kill Dooku, but it does kind of go wrong, and he really can't quite tap into the dark side like he thought he could, or at least Ventress thinks that. And when they do try to kill Dooku as best as they can, Quinlan gets captured, gets tortured, and convinced by Dooku to go full-blown Sith and try to kill Ventress, and then join Dooku in some of his stuff. And obviously the Jedi don't hear from Quinlan for a while, so they try to find him and stuff. And Ventress works with them to find Quinlan. Turns out Vos was mostly, faking the brainwashing bit to know more about, Dooku stuff. But, Ventress is still pretty pissed about the lying and him almost killing her, or at least looking pretty close to that. And, a lot of stuff happens, but more importantly, first off, the Jedi do pardon Ventress for all of her crimes for helping them. So there's that, but the Jedi do start doubting Quinlan a bit, and that leads to Quinlan and Ventress working together again to seemingly stop Dooku, but Quinlan then wants to help Dooku after he convinces Vos to help him kill the Emperor, or who will be the Emperor, Darth Sidious. And, Ventress isn't happy about that, but they kind of go along with it for a bit until stuff goes wrong, and Dooku accidentally kills Ventress with his Force Lightning, or fatally wounds her with his Force Lightning, and stuff goes wrong, obviously. The Republic intervene, and they capture Dooku and Vos, not before Vos gives an emotional goodbye to Ventress as she dies. And Vos has now been arrested for his many crimes, including killing a bunch of clones and 2 Jedi. One of them was his friend, so that's crazy. And before Vos is fully put in I guess space jail or whatever, space prison, Obi-Wan takes chaperones him to Dathomir, where, you know, Ventress was originally from, and is like put in this pool of water, which I think relates to the Night Sisters, you know, sort of dark side religion, and she is now one with the Force, essentially, as she is, her spirit's fully passed on. I think that's what it is. And that's the book. So obviously you can guess what, you know, the thing is everyone's talking about with Bad Batch is that Ventress is in the trailer. I haven't seen any newer episodes other than the first two, so I don't know if she is there yet. But yeah, she's, you know, dead in this, so it's a little interesting that she came back. To be fair, Force Lightning is almost not as crazy of a way to die and then come back as like getting stabbed with a lightsaber, but people do often come back from lightsaber stabs. But yeah, it's still a little weird. It just kind of, yeah. It was interesting seeing the downfall of Voss, because again, I've never seen a lot of stuff with him, or at least I don't remember. So to see him fall like this is pretty interesting, especially with how some elements obviously mirror Anakin, what he'll go for later on and become Darth Vader. Other than that, pretty decent book. Again, yeah, like I said in the spoiler-free section, you might like this if you're a Star Wars fan. And it'll help you become confused when Ventress shows up in a Bad Batch, so I don't know. Otherwise, that's my last book for February. Not like the most exciting reading month. I had a decent time, but didn't feel like I'm enjoying it a lot as much, other than Vinland Saga, which was pretty good. So I hope that I can enjoy reading the stuff I have planned for May, or for March, a little bit more, and in a little bit sometime this month I will do a TBR short listing off everything I'm going to read this month, and I will try to read Spider-Man this time around. Other than that, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to like, comment, and maybe subscribe if you have the time. Check out some of my other stuff, and take care.